Apabila saya berjalan-jalan di Bandar Kuching, saya terfikir tentang betapa banyak liku-liku sejarah yang telah dilalui oleh tanah air saya ini. Dari permulaan zaman Bruk sehingga pengakhirannya, ada suka dan ada duka. Sebagai anak kelahiran Sarawak, saya rasa tergerak untuk mendokumentasi sejarah negeri saya di dalam perjalanan ini. Semoga saya berjaya mengumpul sebanyak mungkin maklumat tentang zaman lampau negeri ini sebagai rujukan masa kini dan akan datang. Saya Tony Yusof, anak Sarawak, bumi Kenyalang. Sebelum saya mencecah usia 50, saya telah membuat satu bucket list untuk mengenali asal-usul negeri kelahiran saya dengan menerokai beberapa lokasi bersejarah yang berkaitan dengan pembentukan negeri ini. Ini adalah perjalanan saya di dalam Pejalai Kamek orang. Selepas bersarapan, saya ada masa lapang sikit untuk mengimbau kembali tentang sejarah perkembangan politik di negeri Sarawak ini. Terlintas di fikiran tentang perbualan saya dengan seorang bekas penjawat awam yang dihormati. Beliau ada menyentuh tentang perkembangan politik Sarawak pada tahun 1950-an.
So Tan Sri, I understand you wrote an article in the 1950s, if I'm not mistaken, that kind of sparked the rise of these political parties at the time. Could you elaborate on that?
Right. Now, that was after my return from studying in England. While in England, I was exposed to a lot of things, including politics. So when I came back, I had that politicized mind, and I thought it was about time that Sarawak should have political parties, just like in the West they had. So I wrote that article urging people to start a political party in Sarawak. So they formed the SUPP first, and only later came the party Putra, etc.
So your article actually, just sparked, like, gave an idea and...
Yes, in fact, it was mentioned by SUPP that as a result of my article, so they activated political party.
So you must have been very young then?
Young, 20 berapa?
Mid-20s?
1950s, about 23 or 20. About that, 23, 24. Young man.
Menurut Tan Sri Safri juga, kesedaran politik pada tahun 1950-an menyebabkan kewujudan banyak parti politik di Sarawak yang memperjuangkan suara mereka.
So you wrote the article after your studies in England at the time, right? So obviously it was still in the 50s, we were still under the Crown Colony. What was the political climate at the time?
Exposure in England meant you develop different ideas about orang putih, about the British. While you were here, you sort of worship orang putih in those days. They were the big ones, they were the twins, etc.
Some of us still do now.
Right. So I started writing in the papers. One of these is formation of political party. I forget the year exactly, but it's in the 50s anyway, late 50s. And Stup responded very quickly. Stephen Yong and Ong Ki Hui. Yeah. So they established political party. They didn't get enough Malays.
The predominantly Chinese party.
Chinese party, yes.
So where did you write the article? Was it here in Sarawak?
In Sarawak, yeah.
After you came back?
That's right.
And what were you trained as? What were you trained as in England?
I was trained as a teacher.
Okay.
I was a teacher at Madrasah Melayu. So I was sent for training in England. So I came back, becoming broad-minded, exposed to what life was in an advanced country like England, the freedom and all that,
Yeah.
And we come back and you notice that we are not really free. They were free in England. So I developed that consciousness that we must be free too.
Yeah.
And to do that, we have to form a political party. And the job of the political party was to seek independence. And that was the crux of my article.
If you don't mind, how old are you?
Now,
Yes.
87.
87.
Right.
Wow. I wish I can have half of your wit and energy at 60 or 70 later.
You what?
I'm 45.
45. Oh, very young. Very young. Oh, almost double.
You're almost double my age. Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you very much, Tan Sri.
Oh,
It's a great
pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Selepas mengimbau perbualan saya dengan Tan Sri, saya ingin mengenali lebih tentang parti-parti politik awal yang terbentuk di Sarawak ini. Mari ikut saya dalam misi hari ini. Saya mulakan hari saya dengan meneruskan misi untuk hari ini. Saya ingin bertemu dengan seorang individu yang salah silah keluarga beliau amat sinonim dengan politik awal di negeri Sarawak.
Hi, Mr. Edgar.
Hi, Tony.
How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Come. Sit down. How are you this afternoon?
Great. Good weather here in Kuching.
It is. It's very good weather. I like the breeze right now. It's a very beautiful day. Beautiful day. Okay, I'm here to rediscover our Sarawakian history. Mostly stuff we never were taught in school, right? So for this particular session, I would like to know more about our Sarawakian political parties. And I understand your uncle is an important figure in the formation of one of Sarawak's oldest or earliest political parties at the time, SUPP. Can you tell me more about him?
Oh, yes. He was the late Tan Sri Ong Ki Hui. He was my father's eldest brother. My father was number 6, he was number 1. And in 1959, he, together with a group of close friends and similar-minded politicians, founded the very first political party in Sarawak.
Oh, the very first.
Yes, it was called the Sarawak United People's Party, SUPP. And they were the early ones who agitated for independence for the country.
Right. Are the locations still around, the ones that are related to SUPP?
Yes, they had a very humble beginning with a wooden house, a building, which they had used for the Kuching branch office. It's situated quite nearby. Used to be called Central Road, and now the government has renamed it after him, Jalan Tan Sri Ong Ki Hui.
Of course, yeah.
It's somewhere nearby, and I can take you there if you like.
Oh, great. So it's the same site, just that it's a new building.
It's a totally new concrete block,
Right,
huge
right.
building.
So it's knocked down and rebuilt from the ground up.
Yes.
I'd love to go and see it.
Sure.
Yeah?
Come, let's go. Massacre of the Japanese.
Yes, the massacre scene. Wow, that's very interesting. Encik Edgar juga ada kerjaya yang sangat menarik. Beliau terlibat banyak dalam penerbitan filem antarabangsa di Sarawak.
2000, I also brought Jessica Alba to Kuching when we did the sleeping
Dictionary. Okay,
Yes.
right. Wow.
So, Tony, this is the spanking new building for SUPP. This was built in the 1990s. The site is still the same. It used to be an old wooden building.
Do you still have anything remaining of, historical significance here?
I think other than the books in the library, there are photographs, of which I have one I wish I could actually show to you.
Oh, that'd be
If you
great.
Follow me.
Come.
So, Tony, this is what the original SUPP building in 1959 looked like.
It's a beautiful building.
Yeah, it's very colonial. You notice the pillars and the half concrete and the billion shingles on the roof.
Yeah.
And the first floor is wooden.
Yeah.
So it's quite impressive in those days.
How about this picture over here?
This picture is a group photo of the founding members taken in June 1959.
Can you tell me who's who?
Yes, that's my uncle,
The man.
Ong Ki Hui, and his co-founder and his other prime mover, Stephen Yong Kwek Se.
That's okay.
Yep.
Seperti parti-parti politik awal yang lain, Parti Sarawak United People's Party atau SUPP ini memainkan peranan penting di dalam keputusan untuk membentuk Malaysia. Mereka menghadapi beberapa cabaran semasa itu. Do you have any other old photos you can show me?
I do have a few. Come, let's see them.
When was this taken?
That was taken in 1955 during the first sitting of the Supreme Council appointed by the British colonial government. My uncle Ki Hui was appointed to that position.
Right. Where was he here?
That's in the judiciary, what we call the courthouse.
The courthouse now. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm going to ask another obvious question as to why your uncle opposed to the formation of Malaysia.
I was prepared for that question. He has been quoted many times for having said this. It's in his autobiography, which is The Footsteps in Sarawak. He said this, and I quote, "We may soon pass away, but our children and grandchildren would perhaps ask us to account why at that time, 1963, did we make such a decision. I do feel that if we really want to be free and independent, there is no reason why we must join up with another country which is already independent. It is nothing but an integration of the country into the Federation of Malaya. I say the British government has let us down and have in fact handed us over to Malaya."
I must admit he has a very valid point there. So what was your uncle's vision?
His vision was actually for a fully independent Sarawak, free from all the influences of the past British colonial government. And of course, in those days, even within his party, he was already communist elements trying to infiltrate.
Are there any more stories, personal stories you can share with me about your uncle?
Oh yes, we had quite a close relationship while growing up. He was very supportive of my career, my endeavors. And in fact, I have a photograph here showing him seated next to my father and my mom and my wife, Doreen, and myself.
Right.
This was taken in 1987 when I had launched my own film production company.
Right, okay.
And he of course, was an honored guest. At that point in time, he was already a federal minister in Kerala.
Right. Nice hairstyle, by the way.
Hippie days.
Mengenali Encik Edgar dan sejarah keluarganya membuat saya terfikir tentang peranan keluarga dalam kerjaya seseorang. Saya setuju. Seperti saya juga, dorongan keluarga amat penting, terutamanya dalam industri filem ini. Hari ini, saya berasa puas hati dengan misi saya. Banyak cerita dan pengetahuan tentang pembentukan tanah air saya ini yang dapat saya peroleh. Esok, masih ada banyak lagi cerita yang saya nak cari. Tapi sekarang, saya nak menikmati pemandangan ini. Setelah bertemu banyak dengan kenalan baru dan mengambil gambar mereka, saya perlu singgah sekejap ke kedai filem untuk memprosesnya.
Alright.
Thank you.
Most
Thank you.
welcome.
All right, have a nice day.
Yeah.
Hari ini saya nak pergi ke sebuah bangunan yang baru dibina. Saya nak jumpa seorang individu yang terlibat dalam politik awal negeri Sarawak ini. Beliau adalah bekas ahli Dewan Undangan Negeri Sarawak.
Hi, Datuk Sri Edmund.
Hi.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm good. Oh, please sit down. Come.
Okay.
Thank you for meeting me today.
Yeah. So, can I ask what purpose for you to see me?
Okay, basically I'm now rediscovering our Sarawakian history, and so this time around I want to know more about the political climate back in the 60s. So I believe you can give me a lot of good insights.
Yeah, if I can.
Yes, thank you. Just anything you can remember at the top of your head.
Yeah.
I just want to know what the political climate was in the 60s. I mean, why was there suddenly greater political awareness back then?
Well, the political climate in 1963 was very hot but interesting, you know, because of the quite fast interest in the formation of political parties. That's make the people, you know, once the political parties form, then the people, the members, you know, had to go to all corners of the Sarawak
Yes.
to recruit their members and, of course, to propagate their ideologies and policies.
Right.
Yeah, that's why, you know, that's why I said that very hot and very interesting.
Very hot, very interesting.
Yeah. Politik came to me quite early, you know? And then I learned politik through correspondence course or something like that.
Okay.
That's
What made you start to be interested in politics back then?
yeah.
What got you interested?
Well, because I was surrounded by political men before in
Right,
my area,
right.
the Malays and the Ibans also. That's why.
So, Datuk Sri, what was the difference between SNAP and all the other parties at the time?
Well, the difference between SNAP and other parties because SNAP dominated by Dayaks, while the ACA by Chinese, and SUP also by Chinese, and Bajasa by the Malays and Muslims, Muslim group.
Right. So,
That's make the difference. Yeah.
so SNAP was more Dayak concentrated.
Yeah, they're also more conservative, and then it was regarded as Dayak Party.
Dayak Party. So, Datuk Sri, you mentioned to me earlier that you participated, or rather contested, in the divisional and district council elections. If you don't mind, can you share with me that, must have been a very interesting time for you?
Yes. Let me tell you from the very beginning.
Yes, please.
1963, I was still teaching, a school teacher in one of the rural schools in Sarawak. Then election came through the system called three-tier system. We started from district council, then to the divisional advisory council, and then to the council. That's
the
what
three.
we call three-tier system. I became a councillor, then I had to tender my resignation. So I resigned as a teacher to be the councillor without getting any payment or anything like that, right?
Oh, no payment.
No payment.
So how was your experience as a councillor in Sarawak, for instance?
Well, it's
like?
quite interesting, you know, in spite of all kind of difficulties. But, you know,
Because I know Sarawak was one of the earlier areas that received, education from the,
Yes,
from the
yeah.
British and all that.
yeah, then I had to educate the people politically. Because, very few people that can understand politics, even local politics at that time.
So I guess your background as a teacher definitely played a big part in imparting knowledge, lah.
Yes,
Basically.
yeah. That is.
Once a teacher, always a teacher, right?
Yeah, teacher is always a teacher, not only for the pupils, but for the people in the long houses also.
Exactly, yeah,
In the kampongs. Especially at that time, the beginning of our kemerdekaan,
Yes.
the beginning of our independence. Because to us, independence was a very, very new thing.
Yes, yes.
To the Iban especially. That's why we have to get the people to understand what independence means, what politics mean to us.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. We have to educate ourselves so that we can promote our interests, our political interests,
Yeah.
and understanding that. Of course, we need some political knowledge to defend our interests.
Yes.
To defend and to promote our interests.
Exactly. Yes.
That's what. That's motivated me to be very active in politics.
Memandangkan hari semakin gelap, saya bergegas untuk membawa Datuk Seri Edmund ke bangunan Dewan Undangan Negeri Lama, di mana beliau berkhidmat suatu ketika dahulu.
I guess because my generation now, we don't have the same struggles you guys had
That's it.
at the
Yeah,
time.
because we had to struggle.
Yeah.
That's it. A
There was
political struggle.
There was a necessity to be like that before.
To be like that before.
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, thank you very much, Datuk Sri. Just one more thing. I'd like to take a picture of you. Come, let's walk over.
Okay.
Come.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Tokoh seperti Datuk Seri Edmund ini banyak menyumbang jasa kepada negeri Sarawak. Pengalaman politik beliau memang tidak ternilai. Kenangan yang dikongsikan oleh beliau semasa pembentukan Sarawak amat dihargai. Ikuti saya dalam misi yang seterusnya.